So I'll just begin this short video with a quote from James Raffin's article, The Experience of Place and Exploring the Land as Teacher. Now this little quote was by J.D. Porteous and it is as follows. It is my contention that literacy and artistic expression, whether ours or that of others, is essential in helping us to experience the world around us in a richer, more authentic way. During the cooler months along the coastlines of Waratah Bay, it is the place to go for a quiet, secluded beach. However, during the warmer months, caravan parks and townships scattered along the coast of Waratah Bay are packed full of holidayers who have found out about the beauty of Waratah Bay. The beaches of Waratah Bay are popular with surfers and swimmers, offering great expanses of sandy coastline with the attractive backdrop of mountain peaks along the Wilson's Promontory west coast in the distance. There are many other activities and attractions that Waratah Bay offer, including a great day's fishing, many coastline walks, and even a spot of rock pooling. So, you may be wondering why Waratah Bay is called Waratah Bay. Well, it was named after a ship called the Waratah, which anchored in this beautiful, calm bay for repairs when it got damaged, making its way through the unrelenting Bass Strait. The Aboriginal clans that occupied the Waratah Bay area knew it as the Yurruk or Wamoon. The Bratalong Aboriginal clan were the clan that mainly occupied this coastline around Waratah Bay. They used the bay as a means of collecting food such as shellfish and crayfish, and they also used the coast as a means of finding shelter, clothing, and even hunting weapons. Raffin in his article stated that by using the narrative descriptive approach, 4 key components to sense of place emerged, 4 ways in which people in the study were attached to place, and 4 types of knowledge invoked and celebrated by the land as a teacher. These 4 types of knowledge invoked by the land were experiential, toponymic, numinous, and narrative. The first link we'll look at is the experiential link, where Raffin stated that one can learn names of places either by looking at maps, listening to stories told by elders, or even reading about the places in magazines or other articles online. He also stated that without any kind of personal experience on the land itself, that any sense of place or any emotional bond to the land may appear limited. In simpler terms, the experiential link would be greater for me compared to those who are not from around the area, as I have grown up around this coastline of Waratah Bay. I know where the best places to surf are, where to find the Waratah waterfalls, and even where to find the blue pools. All this knowledge can't be found on a map and can only be found by listening and being shown by those who know the area, the locals. Only an experience in a particular place, such as Waratah Bay, will lead to a strong experiential link, such as the one I have. The toponymic component is the second component we'll look at, and this is how places got their names, or the process of naming these places. Earlier in this video, I stated that Waratah Bay got its name from the ship called the Waratah, which anchored in the bay for repairs, and that the Aboriginal clans called this area Yurruk or Wamoon. However, there are also many less obvious place names that exist in the area. I'm sure the Bratalong Aboriginal clan had many secret spots that had significant spiritual meaning to them, however, I was unfortunately able to find any. Majority of these less obvious place names aren't found on the map, such as famous surf breaks in the area that were given as names by surfers, such as the Toilet Block at Rookville or Bones at Waratah Bay Caravan Park. There are many other place names around the bay that exist, some we may not even know about, but they do have special significance to someone as they have an attachment to that place. The third connection stated by Raffin is the numinous attachment, which is the spiritual bond between people and place. Numinous connections are the things that touch the soul and heart of the visitor, as they have a significant memory or bond with that special place. For me, Waratah Bay holds so many great and special memories, such as catching my first fish, or swimming with my first seal, even to catching my first wave. So whenever I see something happening to the bay, I feel myself having an emotional attachment as it holds a special place in my heart. However, for the Bratalong Aboriginal clan, Waratah Bay may have had a different meaning compared to me, as it was a way of living and possibly even had a significant spiritual meaning and had to be looked after and protected at all costs. I feel that their spiritual bond was much deeper than ours is today. Finally, there is the narrative component of place. This includes stories on how the land came to be, such as Dreamtime stories by the Bretolong Aboriginal clan, or even how things used to be, which may include stories from the lime miners at the historic lime kilns of Walkerville South. The narrative component can integrate the three other components of place, as you are able to describe everything from toponymic, which is place names, experiential, which is learning the places through experience, and numinous, which is the spiritual connection. All these components can be told through a story to the listener to teach them everything there is to know about that particular place. So going back to this quote that I read out at the start of the presentation, we can see that in order for us to experience the world in a richer and more authentic way, we need to get out into this place and experience it in an experiential, toponymic, numinous and narrative way. For us as educators, it is important to have an understanding and somewhat of a grasp at these four ways of knowing nature. It will allow us to connect students to nature through using nature itself, rather than making them learn everything in the classroom. For a student to create a connection with nature, like the ones we have, we need to let the student thrust themselves into the place we are visiting and guide them through these four areas if needed.